Welcome back, race fans. Thanks for waiting.
Howdy, howdy, everybody. Gonna be another awesome race, I am sure of it. Gonna be kicking off here real shortly.
Sorry, I had an echo because I still had the stream open in another window.
You don't want to hear yourself talk all day.
No, I could not deal with talking over myself. I don't know how people who stream with monitor on do it.
It's madness. Madness.
We have Oxwas versus jawsomesauce, and I've got some data pulled up on those runners. Oxwas is coming in at the 13th seed, and jawsomesauce at the 21st seed. Both of our runners were 2-2 in Swiss rounds, so it should be a pretty good race. And we're off already. We gotta start with this little cutscene. This was going to be the last race of round one. We did have another race that's being delayed until tomorrow afternoon, it looks like. We've had some mixing in between rounds 1 and 2. We got some round 2 out of the way because both our runners had finished the round 1 races already. But we are wrapping up round 1 with this race and the one tomorrow.
Racers are all eager for more Boogey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and these races are just going to get better and better as we progress towards the top of the bracket.
Yep, round 1 has been a doozy already. I wish it would have gone better for both of us, but
yeah,
that's what you can do.
That was something yesterday, but I'm not going to dwell too much on it.
Yep, Boogie's gonna boogie. There's always another time.
Yes, Boogey is so yeah. Anything can happen, absolutely, in this race and in every race.
Both racers have grabbed the crack bat off into the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna make our casual hill climb here. No spawns to worry about, just clean movement is what we want to see. Lots of sliding and gliding off the terrain to minimize walking around things, but Ness likes to get hung up on everything, as we've seen already, so...
Yeah, this is a very sub-pixely game, so it's just very easy to bonk on a tree or a wall, and in a place that sometimes it's not a problem when you do that exact same movement.
Quick chat with Pokey, and then back to bed. Try to get our beauty rest this evening, now that we've investigated the meteor.
It does look like we have a bit of a timer difference between our runners. I don't know if we had an early start or a late start. There shouldn't be that much of a discrepancy at this point in the run.
Yeah, I don't think so. It might have just been...
Okay.
I'm not sure if one of the racers were not synced up with the race room, so that might account for the discrepancy.
All right, Ox has confirmed that he forgot to start his timer, so we'll take that with a grain of salt. We'll kind of go off of jawsomesauce's timer here. And if it gets real close, we can always retime things. We got our Gamba up. Everyone get your Gamba on. Predict who's going to win this race.
Oh boy. Time to go spend some Earth Bucks.
I made a bunch of Earth Bucks on the Dez Ari race.
Oh, very nice.
You gotta play the odds sometimes. I love Dez, but...
Yeah, this is... Gambling on Earthbound is just... That is so much RNG compounded onto each other. I don't know if the universe is ready for it.
Alright, we're gonna talk to Pokey. and we'll talk to our dad on the phone, and then we'll actually get into the meat of the run with the second hill climb, the hill climb that matters with all the spawns on it.
Yes, this can be very aggressive right out the gate. There's a lot of animal spawns.
Yeah,
Even
this
walking
entire
up the cliff
section.
can be dangerous.
This entire section is covered in 5% spawn plates. There are also 100% spawn plates, including this one right out the door. Was a crow on on Jawsome's side and a dog for Oxless, now a snake. That dog is one of those 5%ers, so that's gonna be real annoying to despawn while that snake's there. All right, it is hauling up on the tree.
Ooh, nice crow dodge from Oxwis.
Yeah, that was slick.
These crows can be very unpredictable, as we see there. You can often get them to dart out in one direction and get them hung up on something, but this one swooped right back into Jawsome's path, unfortunately. Quick fight, though. Doesn't look like any damage was taken, and they can do a fair amount with their pecs.
Yeah, especially since they're so fast, it's really hard to hit them sometimes, and they could just take you down.
Ox was having a nice climb up there.
Jawsome decided to spawn this dog on the 100% plate. Could be a crow. Gonna try to dodge the crow.
No.
Ooh, another red swirl. Yeah, that is 100% spawn plate. There are setups for how to deal with any spawn you get there. That crow was probably one that probably should have been despawned because it was just not in a good spot to get stuck on a tree. But we get through it.
Hard to tell if it's wedged up against the cliff enough and it's gonna come after you. All of those swooping pattern enemies can be really tricky to deal with around terrain. Sometimes they'll just sneak through right where you don't want them to.
Yeah, the crows especially are unpredictable because oftentimes they're cooperative, and then once in a while they're completely opposite. They do completely the opposite of what you think they should. And they also can randomly do it like twice as fast.
Yes, the old dive bomb crow. That's what you don't want to see.
Yeah, I'm curious what in the code makes that happen. I'm sure someone will dive into it someday. All right, so Oxless is heading towards Starman Jr. Will be the first to enter the Starman Jr. fight. Starman Jr., complete RNG boss. We have no real agency. Buzz is the only one that does damage for the most part. We need to get 200 damage in, and Buzz can go from anywhere from 150 to 30, depending on if we get a smash or if Starman guards. We'll be getting in hits every other turn. We'll be getting shielded on these other turns. And Starman's just gonna throw PSI at that shield and do absolutely nothing. So it's just a waiting game.
Nice charge forward, 122.
Ness gets a little smash in on the side. That could actually make a difference. The little chip damage for 7.
Yeah, it comes into play more often than you might think. The fire is the longest attack that Starman has. Ooh, a 34 there. The text boxes do make a difference. You know, getting all of the party hit with the fire just takes a little bit that much more time to generate all the text. A freeze will be just one kid being hit, and then the guard obviously doesn't hit anybody. So that's the fastest, but it can slow down the fight. Ox was able to get out of there pretty quickly, though.
Yeah, the 3 cycle. I want to say fire loses like 5 seconds, 6 seconds. The freeze is 1 or 2 seconds, and then guard is like basically free, except when it has the damage. Speaking of, oh, that was a different turn, I think. Jawsome gets to 70 on the first hit.
Still potentially a 2 cycle there if Buzz gets a big hit. That's the ideal. I think 3 is pretty average. Not quite enough on a charge
almost
forward.
There.
It's going to be about 10 hit points short.
Yeah, it does mean that we're pretty much assured of a 3 cycle, though. Buzzes cannot roll that low. All right, Jawsome is through.
Old Picky getting the KO.
You love to see when Piggy gets the kill. So our runners are gonna high five as they. Oh no, never mind. Buzz was talking too long.
Yep, the Buzz dialogue is quite long. There are two different options that we have to pick. We gotta make sure that we pick yes for the first option, saying that we understand, and we gotta make sure we pick no for the second option, or he's gonna ask us again. We get to sit through all of that text. Really frustrating way to lose time or this early in the run.
Especially since if you do it once, then you kind of forget, like, wait, which one do I need? Am I on now? And then you you continue messing it up. All right, so Oxwells has gone up into the secret treehouse to get the Mr. Baseball cap. We're gonna try that on. It's a real fancy hat, and then we're gonna trade it for a slightly less fancy hat and a bunch of money for a cheap bracelet. And the bracelet gives us more armor than the difference in hats loses, so it's a net gain for us. We'll also be getting a better bat, and that should give us the stats to get through the arcade. Jawsome now going through this this little section we call the zoo. It also has a bunch of those 5% plates. Sees a little snake, goes to despawn it. It's still there. There we go.
Yeah, for the low odds, the animals sure seem to spawn there a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Ox was getting into the first Pogo Punk fight here. We're going to fight two Pogo Punks for the guaranteed burger drops and some extra experience before we get into the Yes Man and Frankie fights.
A smooth first Pogo, too.
Gotta love it.
Yeah, no damage at all. Did do the charge forwards, but missed both times. And then there was also a turn skip in there.
Yep, the charged forwards can do quite a bit of damage there, and can leave you having to get through some of your healing items leading into the Frank fights. We definitely don't want to be going in there short on resources. Fortunately, we've got quite a bit of psychic points at this point, compared to what we're using it for. It still has 3 life ups to work with. The Yes Man Junior fights usually pretty inconsequential.
Those charge forwards, they take about a third of your HP when, at least at the first fight, before you get your big level up. And the danger with that is that if you take one charge forward and then you don't heal right away with the bread roll, and you take a second, you're now too low to get a heal off in time if you get hit with a third. So you have to heal right after the first one, and it feels real bad.
Frank brandishing right out the gate.
Yeah, the strategy for Frank is also kind of the same. We have to heal if we take any damage at all, just to stay in the range where we can get a heal off safely.
It seems to be like 21, 22 is a
big
reasonable
25.
range.
This is dangerous.
Uh-oh.
This is real dangerous. Okay, we only take 11, so no, we don't have to try to mash out the heal on 21 HP. All right, so and Noxus gets through.
Very nice. First big hurdle of the game is that Frankie fight. Frankie Stein is pretty straightforward. It's another scripted fight. It's starting off with a big smash, too. We've got a wasted turn and then a weak or a strong attack on the second turn, so we can, as long as we're keeping an eye on our hit points, we can usually queue up a heal when we need one. And another smash to finish it off.
Yeah, very good. Very good, Frank for Oxwells. Meanwhile, jawsomesauce getting into it.
Talking dirty right off the bat.
Oh, another big knife, 25. We did have enough HP to start with. We're at 23, and we got the smash anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Rock
Yeah,
and roll.
Jawsomesauce went in with 48 max HP, Ox was with 46. So that knife for 25, much bigger problem for Ox than it was for Jawsome.
Another
Jawsome,
smash. What's going on?
wow. We are rocking and rolling through these fights here.
And to think Ness skipped breakfast.
All right, so both runners through the arcade. They'll be going shopping for some burgers and then proceeding towards Giant Step and the Titanic Ant. In that section, we really need to get to level 8 before we fight the Titanic Ant so we can get our PSI Rocket Attack. We really need the AoE for his healing ant minions. He's bad enough without them. We really need the damage on him as well, to be honest. And yeah, we just can't do it without that. So we're going to grind up experience on some attack slugs. We're going to try to take down 22 of them as quickly as possible, which we have. There are a couple strategies on how to do that now. But the meta one is the mouse stuck, and it's probably what we'll see from both of our runners. I'll talk more about that when we get it.
Yeah, it does seem to be the most consistent, but it's nice to see everybody's different strategies. Ox was choosing to only take 90 out.
Yeah,
Enough to set up the burgers once. If you go through a lot of them in Giant Step, you can find yourself needing to grab some more money if you need to restock before the cops, which you're regularly going to want to do in a race. The cop gauntlet can be very dangerous.
Yeah, I'm fond of just taking all your money out in a race the first time so that you can buy more burgers on the way to cops if you need them without having to dip into that ATM again. The source transitions actually just add up quite more time than you'd think. Because you gotta go in and then back out. There's all this text involved too. It just takes a while. Johnson Sauce is gonna make a safety save in the drugstore as well.
Right off the bat with a 4-pack of slugs for Oxwis. Nice way to start Giant Step.
Ooh, he is getting hit for 5 though. Normally get hit for 4, but we just got some bad defense roll on the level up, I guess. We're also kind of hitting weakly, hitting for 27 on that ant. I guess it took 2 hits to kill. We might be lifing up in this in this first fight here.
Oh my goodness. And choosing to attack there.
I mean, we will always outspeed, but yeah, this is pretty gross. This is actually one of the grossest slug fights I've seen. These slugs are really chewing on them hard.
No kidding.
Alright, hopefully we should get some stats on this level up here. Offense up by 2, yeah, that'll help with the damage. I don't think I saw a defense gain.
No defense, just offense and hit points there.
Yeah, but hopefully that means we at least stop two-shotting the slugs. Alright, so here we have the mouse stuck strat. You see this little mouse Oxus has that's caught on that wall. We've got a spawn plate that can spawn mice. I think it spawns mice 75% of the time. But if there's already a mouse, it will not spawn another one. So we just spawn a mouse, get them stuck on terrain, and leave them there. And then continue to hit that plate over and over and spawn slugs.
Awesome, getting a 3-pack off the right side there.
Yeah, that's a bit of an awkward number when you have an odd number like that. Slugs come in packs of 4, and on the third floor they also come in packs of 6. So the ideal is you can take 4 packs of 4, then you head up and get a 6-pack for 22 exactly. Odd number, you gotta have to decide what you're gonna do. You can either try to peel a slug off another 4-pack, or you can just take a mouse fight. But you gotta work something out, or you end up taking more time in battle than you need to. So I think this is 12 for Oxwis now.
I believe that's correct. This will be 8 for Jawsome.
Yeah, so we're about a 4-pack in difference right now. Okay,
without any shenanigans, this can be one of the biggest swings in time for the run, too. Ox is finally getting his defense up. Should only be taking 4 now, and also had a big offense gain as well.
Might mean that you might get a small offense gain on level 8, because stats tend to rubber band to a norm, and that can be unfortunate because if we don't get high enough offense, then we won't be able to auto win against single antoids that get in our way on the way to the big ant. But of course, the best thing is just to not run into those antoids at all. All right, so Oxwus, I'm sorry, is going upstairs to find that 6-pack, going for that optimal strategy we talked about. Ooh, oh, we have
An joiner.
That's unfortunate for sure. Ox needs to be
Antoids
careful here.
call for help here, and they do quite a bit more damage than the slugs are going to.
Okay,
This could be dangerous.
Oxus almost took a death there, actually, if both those ants had hit. But calling for C is also not great. Oxus probably wants to try to run from this, if he can. Of course it is.
I think a heal and a run would probably be ideal.
Yeah, this is also a 4-pack's worth of experience, though, if he does bash it out. But he needs 6, not 4, so... Okay, gets a smash, so he is getting through this. Kind of burning up all his PP on life ups.
And is able to get through that. That was getting dicey.
I think, did Jawsome just hit level 8, I think? No, because he's
7.
continuing to... Yeah, okay. Boy, it took him a while to get to that third 4-pack then. Okay, now Jawsome has the mouse stuck. So now just waiting on that. There's one, he's just gotta pull it over. You know, Oxwus is through that gross ant fight. Now he's trying to peel some slugs off. Yeah. Pull it way over here so it doesn't get a joiner. There's that level 8. Offense up by 3. So that's kind of a 50-50, I think, on whether he has enough offense now to auto-win single ants. Now we're trying to just despawn and get up out of here. Alright, get a stutter past these, and we'll grab some butterflies. I think you'll need 2 of them. Oh, it doesn't get a spawn.
And again, very stubborn butterflies. Yeah, very nice of the game to put this here for us. Give us a chance to refill our psychic points before the big boss.
Alright, jawsomesauce is heading up now as well. Is not level 8 yet, so must be looking for a 6-pack as well. We're just hoping to run into the 4-pack here on the 2nd floor, I'm not sure. He's taking this one, so I guess that's what he was looking for. Might be figuring he can fight a mouse, because he had an odd number earlier.
Yeah, should be right on the edge there. I did lose count.
Yeah, it's really hard to keep count for 2 runners. You know, Oxwus making it to Titanic Ant just fine. We're gonna throw 2 Rockins out and hopefully get big hits of damage on them. And wipe out the antoids as well. $82, that's about average. Pretty average. It's not bad at all. Alright, eat a burger. Not life up so we don't get magneted and lose our... Ooh. This play, as I was saying, so that would cost us our 2nd rocket if we'd lifed up. Alright, 68. Not great. Kind of middling damage. We got about 100 HP to go on this ant. Actually, more like 90. But he hasn't shielded, so... as long as he doesn't do that, this is still not going to take too long. Hopefully he does some turns. Ooh, big smash. That'll do it.
We take those.
So Ox was out with a 23 Titanic ant. Jawsomesauce making it there now.
Oh, the sneaky antoid there does have enough to instant win, fortunately. But they like to hide there on that rock. They can be very hard to see.
Yeah, they're just so small. They just blend it right in with that outline of that rock. All right, so let's see how Jocelyn does with this fight. We're gonna PSI nice.
Dig it.
If it rolls for 69, I'm gonna. Oh, that is not nice at all.
Rude game.
Oh, and a big bite on the from. Okay, 89. Probably need. Oh, magnet. I guess it worked out that we used a burger then, because we didn't waste a turn trying to life up. We are taking the big bites right now. Ant does have like 2 attack tables that he switches between. That's how they give him 6 different moves with attack tables that only have 4 slots. That the 4th slot is switch to this other table, and the one table has the big bite on it, and the other one does not. And you tend to stay on that one for a while because they're biased. Okay.
I was not aware of that.
Yeah, it's kind of complicated how it works, but yeah, you tend to see big bites come in groups for that reason. And I think the shield is on the same table as the big bite as well. It's so you really have one that's much worse to have than the others. Fortunately, you start on the good one, which is why burgerless is not as terrible an idea as it sounds. That Ant was likely to stay on that table, slightly likely. But not super likely.
Ant is down for Jawsome.
So that was about a 2-minute delta, I want to say.
Yep, that's about right. Ox was getting into the cop gauntlet here. This is another kind of a tricky spot. We've got 4 cops before the Captain Strong fight. And we're kind of limited on our psychic points here. We're hoping to get through this with enough PP to drop 2 Rockins on Captain Strong and get out of that fight quickly. But these cops can do quite a bit of damage to us. Does still have a decent amount of burgers from the Ant fight. Did not stop to fill back up again. There's about a 1 in 8 chance that they can drop another burger, but definitely don't want to be counting on that in the middle of the gauntlet here.
Yeah, you average half a burger a run, so you usually are not going to get much help there. Of course, when you don't need them, then you get like 3 out of 4.
Naturally.
The game knows when you need it.
Yep, nothing like filling up on burgers than having to discard one because it drops from the cop.
Alright. Ox was chugging along, getting a little low on his burgers. These cops are kind of doing some crushing chops, making it painful. Big Smash finishes that cop off, though. Does he still have 30 PP? We could see a rockin' on this cop if he does. He does.
He does?
Oh, but we're gonna bash it out, though. Save it for life ups. Rocking on this cop is a little risky, because it can low roll, and then you gotta bash it out, and then he can hit you hard, and then you have to life up, and then you don't have your two Rockins on strong anymore. But
the extra life ups for safety is definitely beneficial. Even if the cop or the strong fight goes very well, there's still enemies that we could run into on the way to Tucson that can cause us a lot of problems without psychic points.
Yeah, but it is nice and fast when it works. We're gonna put our 2 Rockins out now. They both connect. Strong is down. 28-minute on it for Oxwell, that's pretty good. We say anytime you're under 30 in a race, you're doing fine.
Yep, so just over 2 minutes between them. Jawsome getting into his cop gauntlet here.
And we're also starting with crushing chops. Yeah. Oof. Ooh, big smash though.
37 hit points. Probably going to start off with a heal right off the bat, just to keep ourselves tanked up.
Yeah, that's a safe thing to do. Sometimes if I'm really loaded on burgers, I will just commit to doing a double burger and try to get that rocking on Cop 4. But it's not necessarily the smart thing to do. It's the fast thing to do. And another smash. That's gonna help us maybe catch up a little bit.
Ox was doing a fine job getting around the Shroom Village there. Quite a few spawns here at the beginning of Tucson. Nothing to be too concerned about. They were far enough out of the way. The aggro radius of those mushrooms is pretty small, but once you trigger it, they're after you.
There are antoids that can show up there too, and you have to be aware of them because they're so small. It's easy to be looking at a mushroom, then making sure you don't get too close to it instead, and then you're in the range of those ants.
Jawsome does get a burger drop from Cop 3.
Yeah, he said 1 and 8. I guess there's 8 cops between both runners, so he had to see 1, right?
Yeah,
That's
that
how
counts.
math works.
Ooh, a smash. That's not good.
It was on the life up turn, so we do just basically get it all back, but yeah, that's scary. Getting more chops. I got to life up again. We're gonna not have the 2 Rockins for strong. This is a brutal cop. This is cop number 4, so we are on his strong now. Jawsome does have enough for a life up, so he might lead with a Rockin' and then try to bash it out from there. He is at 65, so he's gonna burger up first.
Good call. Use that extra burger.
Yeah, now he's gonna throw out his Rockin'. 74. Pretty decent damage, a couple hits away. 1 more should do it. Gonna use that life up. Smart, just in case Nest missed there. That'll do it. 31-13 for Jawsome.
Both racers escape O-net without a death. Very, very nice.
Yeah, I think Oxless did widen his lead a little bit on the cops. We're like at 2.5 minute delta now. So Oxless, in the meantime, Oxless took out some money and made a save in Tucson. That's a setup for a death warp later on after we finish in Happy Happy, which is where he's going now. Well, at least already at partway there, and then we're going to find that our way is blocked by a pencil statue. I don't think we're even going to actually look at the pencil statue. All we need to do is load it into memory, and it'll set a plot flag for when we get back into Tucson on how to deal with it. But we're gonna get as far as we can right now.
That was good knowledge there by Oxwis, being able to get around the mobile sprouts there, knowing their aggro radius. It's a little bit bigger than the shrooms are. They're another enemy that likes to call for help and can really do a lot of damage at this point in the game.
And Oxless
UFO is very fast on the map and in battle, so we want to stay away from them as well.
So Oxless did go far enough and is now making a second pass through what we call the fart cave, and we call it that because it stinks with his it likes to make his door despawn a whole bunch. But it's not being too stinky to Oxless right now. You can lose a lot of time in there, which is what Jawsome would like to see so he can catch up some, but maybe on the 3rd pass, we'll see. Yeah, PU, that's right. Who named it the fart cave anyway, Taxlog? Couldn't be you.
Be me.
Jawsome getting menaced by some citizens of the town on the way over to Apple Kid.
Just a friendly slug. Would never say anything like that.
Fart explosion in chat. It's like his back cave. Wow. Didn't see you there, but very timely
Brilliant.
and appropriate username here.
Hashtag branding. Oh, nice butterfly there behind the tree.
Yeah, that's real convenient when they're right in where you need them like that. That is how we're gonna refill back to full after the strong fight. We didn't take a hotel nap or anything. We just get 2 butterflies, life up after the first one, and then we should be full. Jawsome Sauce also getting a butterfly. Better to get them early. There's enough butterfly spawns in the valley itself that you can pretty reliably get 2 of them. But you want to get them early so that if you take a fight early on accident, you're not just beat to death with no PP.
Hung up here at the second doorway. There's enough spawns here that can spawn just too close there that you can't edge over to the left side to despawn them. As you mentioned before, these spawns can really eat up a lot of time too. It's about what, 3 to 4 seconds to do a despawn and back.
Yeah, these farts be farting. It depends on if it's the door in the middle, it takes like 3 seconds, I think. And if it's the one to the outside, it takes longer because there's a music change involved, and that involves some lag.
Ah. Yeah, lag can be a big factor in this game. We didn't notice it as much in Giant Step, but it can make things very difficult to get your stutter stepping off. And just knowing when you've got enemies spawning, the extra lag is going to play a big factor in just your awareness of those around you before they get fully on screen, give you more time to react.
Yeah, there are no stutterable enemies in PRV or Happy Happy, but you may notice later in Pond Cave, if you get a bunch of sprites on screen, the lag that those introduce basically makes keeping the rhythm for stuttering impossible. Yeah, the music does go pretty hard here in PRV, actually. It's not much Grateful Dead-like, despite its original Japanese name. The Peaceful Rest Valley, it was like the Grateful Dead Valley in Mother 2, and Nintendo of America's legal team said, "No, I don't think we can do that here." So now it's the Peaceful.
Get over that. Oh my goodness!
Yeah, P-Train saying it's
dodging.
P-Train saying it's very much drummers at the wrong gig music. Oxless losing. Yep, losing an RE point. And Jawsome Sauce brought some, bought the skip sandwiches, which we'll use to try to escape some fights in PRV, most likely.
Yeah, that dodge that Oxless had on the spinning robo there was very, very tight. Getting through that doorway can be a Herculean feat with that last plateau. There are just so many spawns.
Yeah.
Sneaky cultist spawn there in the tunnel too, able to react to it quick enough to get back out the door. Those cultist fights are unrunnable thanks to the scripted fight we have coming up here. And they also like to call for help.
Yeah, that's just how it works. If there's an enemy that's in a scripted fight somewhere, all versions of that enemy are unrunnable. We have the same thing with the cops. And when we get more cops in Tucson occasionally, and they are also unrunnable. And the cultists are extra nasty because we have to fight some of them. And they call for help. And they can just be real stinky. It feels real bad when you have like cultist G and you still can't run. Right, and see how Reckon does. Not enough for a one-shot on either of them, which is unfortunate because then we do have to pull out a second just to get out of this safely before they start calling for help. Once we're out of the valley, butterfly spawns are no longer plentiful, so we are trying to conserve PP at this point. So it is unfortunate that we had to use 2 Rockins there. But we should be good. We've got one more just in case, so we only have one more fight between us and Carpainter. And we don't need them for Carpainter, but it does make it go faster.
A real
Ox is getting
cultist
menaced.
party here in the cave.
Yeah, getting menaced by these spawns. Jawsome also getting menaced by spawns. Dodging that tree. I don't know if he realized that was an enemy tree or not. Sometimes they do actually use a sprite of like a regular tree. So they can't. Sometimes they do kind of fool you, especially if you're looking at something else. Jawsome using his skip sandwich. Gets through.
Very nice finish to PRV there.
Also losing an RN point. Alright, so Oxus in the cultist, the HQ cultist fight, only one of them, but if he calls for help, we'll have to pull out our third Rockin. Does not do so, so we get to go into Car Painter with one Rockin. Car Painter is a completely scripted fight, much like Frankenstein. He starts with his lightning attack, then he does a PSI move, either life up or shield, which alternates, and then he does a physical hit. So in the physical hit is the only thing that'll do damage, and so we always know when we need to heal in this fight. And we're going to try to get finish it with as low HP as possible, since it's so predictable, because we have a Death Warp that's going to get us back to Tucson a little faster than Walking would afterwards. Alright, so get our PSI out. Hits for 75. Ain't bad. Gets a reflect
there.
Oh, only the one. Alright, so we're gonna have to heal here. Gonna use a burger.
Oh, no egg. The egg tease.
Yeah, Ox was choosing to keep his HP low with the lower item heal, hoping for this reflect here, which he gets, and now he's finishing with a little less HP. And that's gonna help him get through the Death Warp faster.
Also not enough for a one-shot for Jawsome there in the shack fight. Also picking up another Rockin. Only 9 hit points left.
Oof. Did he get Hapat?
I believe so.
Sometimes, usually when you see someone take that much, he just, yeah, he's got the Sandlot bat, so.
But still rocking the baseball cap.
Baseball cap, that's why. Okay, so his defense is not what it should be. He's gonna have to plan for that. Or we could see a death here. Because Carpado's gonna hit harder than expected too. I don't know if Jocelyn's prepared for that.
Oh, if I'm prepared for that.
I don't know if he just forgot or if he was trying to save a little bit. I mean, if he got the bat anyway, it doesn't save all that much time. Meanwhile, Ox was dropping his defensive equipment in anticipation of that Death Warp. So Ness can die a little faster. It will not be relevant again, so may as well just get rid of it. Oh, Carpaneer only hits for 5 extra HP. That's not so bad.
A nice quick cultist fight, so able to save the psychic points just in case.
Oxus needs to drop Apollo's teddy bear as well. Yep, there, remembers to do it.
Just wanted to take it for a stroll before leaving it in the cave.
Bring it to it where it's hoping that what the bears here will adopt it. Okay, Ness
Big
goes down.
reflect.
Good death warp for Oxus. Surviving.
That
at
was
like
crazy
43,
fast.
45. Right.
It's gonna be a dicey one.
Yeah, need a big heal here. Okay, does outspeed with the heal, so And they get the reflex, so Jawsome's going to get through with low HP as well. That worked out.
All right. Does get the HP bomb there after Car Painter.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Getting a big HP up. If you're really efficient with not taking extra fights, you don't get you get that early, and then you don't have to worry about that. But if you are really efficient, then you do get it after the Car Painter fight, which is a little bit unfortunate. Not worth taking extra fights on purpose to avoid, but it is what it is.
Still better to bank on the mole doing what he's supposed to, but when you find yourself with a lot of hit points on Ness, it can be very frustrating going through that death warp.
Some runners, if they end up with a lot of HP, will actually walk all the way back out to PRV and like try to fight a tree or a UFO instead. Doesn't usually save time unless you have like really a ton of HP. Alright, so Oxus is gonna do a little couple of fetch type chores. We got the backstage pass, and then we return Paula home so we can get the spot of bills, and now we can go watch the Runaway 5 show and then get a bust of Threed. About 6 minutes of just pure cutscenes. We're gonna do a left theater. Love the left theater. There is a photo trigger in front of the theater, hence we talk about left theater and left or right bus, because we have to dodge that trigger to avoid the 15-second photo man cutscene. And that's really the only item of interest in this whole section here. So we make a big deal about which side of the theater you go in on, and then which side you leave on to get on the bus. Jawsomesauce's mole being a little harder to get here. Okay, Paula's down, and so is Ness. Okay.
Not too bad.
Yeah, about a 3-minute delta between our runners at the mole warp. And there's not a whole lot of actual gameplay left in the run. There's a lot of this latter half is unfortunately kind of cutscene heavy. We've got this whole Tucson sequence, and then we also have the Jeff Quest in North Winters where nothing really happens. We just get our time wasted by Maxwell making us try to use a key that he knows doesn't work. So it's gonna move. So it's gonna come down to Winters and also possibly the graveyard. But you won't see unless things go real bad. You won't see a 3-minute lead change in the graveyard. And there is also the tent itself. Anything can happen at the tent as well. But you usually don't see big dramatic things happen at the tent, though they have happened in the past. I will note that.
We'll try not to speak that one into existence and just hope for the best.
Yeah. Winters, on the other hand, you can gain or lose huge time in Winters, depending on if Monkey's a jerk, how good your stutter game is in Pond Cave. You can see a lot happen there.
Yeah, as we saw in the last race, sometimes the enemies will just keep spawning, and you have to keep walking through that door.
Yeah, it's kind of rude that it's kind of rude that we get like a little mini fart cave at the very end of the Pond Cave.
It can be just maddening when you're on a good pace to going into Winters and then just have it eaten alive because mushrooms won't stop spawning.
Especially if you got your skips in Brick Road. Jawsomesauce also doing a left theater.
The blonde guy played gatekeeper for both of the runners today.
I failed to note what which side the bus Ox went on, but I'm sure it was right.
Right side.
Yeah. I figured Oxus would be a right bus kind of guy. Left bus is like the safer route, but if you really know where the trigger is, it's not hard to do a right bus, which is a little faster.
Yeah, I think the hardest part is sneaking between the lamppost and Lucky there.
Yeah,
there's a pretty good visual cue for the setup there.
Yeah, there's like a crack in the sidewalk that if you just walk along, it like lines you up perfectly. All right, so Oxus is gonna head up to the graveyard and hope that it's pretty clean. Graveyard usually tends to either be completely empty or super gross, I find. And it's looking kind of gross.
I was able to get them wedged in between the gravestones there. But yeah, a lot of spawns right off the bat. Those flies can be very aggressive, and they move way faster than we can.
Yeah, did have some ghosts ahead as well, but was able to despawn them pretty easily, so... Not too much of a time loss there for Ox, not actually taking any fights. And he's gonna have one little more cutscene, and then we're gonna go on to Winters, do the Jeff quest.
Say hi to the nice lady and hope nothing bad happens. Oh, zombie bonk.
And the weird thing about the zombie bonk is that even if Paula died in the graveyard, she comes back to life here.
Yeah, that is very convenient. The fights in graveyard can be winnable, and the extra experience can help, giving you some extra firepower literally for the Boogey tent. Slowing or cutting down some of the text you have to mash through at the end, but ideally we don't want to see any fights there, because they can pretty easily KO both of the kids.
Yeah, if you get a single fly though, the leveling on Paula is pretty nice, both for having fire on the tent and then also just not having the text on the tent later. It doesn't really save time overall just to get the text early, but it can be like a little surprise for your opponent if the race is close, and they don't really notice it.
Yeah, we have had the levels of the kids play a big factor in the ending of some of these races. So all of those little things add up at the end of the day.
Yeah, we did, the end of the race is determined not by when the tent dies, but when you get the jar of fly honey behind it. So you have to wait for that text, and that actually has decided several races this year.
Yeah, depending on how that goes, that can be 30 to 50 seconds worth of mashing to get through.
Yeah, because Paul is at level 1, and Jeff is like super low level at that point too, unless you like took a ton of fights in Winters. And so it's just a massive bolus of XP for both of them. Alright, so Ox is gonna use the key. It doesn't work. Did not drop the spray can, which is interesting. Oh, speaking of flies. Is just the one. Oh, we're gonna try to bash it out. Oh, no, Paula goes down. Yeah, the safe way to handle the fly, the nest does kill it, but really wanted Paula to get the experience there. But at least we don't die. But the safe way to handle the single fly is defend, freeze. Much like the defend BBR, you want Paula to be able to get the attack off, even if she gets hit. And that freeze generally does one-shot the fly. Usually you get a bunch of joiners if you take a fight in the graveyard, so you don't see the single fly too often, so not everyone knows how to handle it.
Ox was spending $1 to get the bane of many Earthbound runners' existence. Old Bubble Monkey here. Very unpredictable. Likes to stop in the middle of the road whenever we need him to be moving along with us.
Likes to get us in a bunch of fights that we don't need to be taking. We have a goat here. We're going to try to despawn because the goats hit pretty hard. Thankfully, this crow is stuck. Will not get us in trouble. We usually like to fight a dog here if we can. We call it safety dog because it gets Jeff a level up and also drops a bread roll half the time. And even if that level up just gives you 1 HP, the first protoplasm that we fight shortly likes to hit for 10. We are at exactly 30 at level 1. And so having 1 extra HP can let us take an extra hit, which makes a big difference. And also, so an extra healing item is huge. Yeah, so Oxus got that broken spray can repair text. Doesn't really waste a ton of time, but we usually drop it. But since this is a race and he's got a comfortable lead, he's going to prepare it, probably sell it for some money, and maybe buy a bomb for Paula against the tent as an extra safety item.
Yeah, it could be useful to have around too if things go completely sideways with the Boogey fight and you end up having to revive somebody. That extra money can definitely help because at this point we can be fairly strapped for cash.
Yeah, especially since we haven't hit an ATM since our first time through Tucson. And we've got our first Tessie of the race. Everyone get your Tessies out in chat. I want to see your wildest Tessies from all your favorite Earthbound streamer channels. Normal Tessies are fine too. I just want to see them. There we go. There we got the Richard Karn Tessie.
The only extra one I've got, but it's a good one.
I like this this green Tessie of 1990X.
So Ox was doing the goat despawn there. There's 100% spawn plate, but if we move, we can spawn it and despawn it in the same move by just taking that diagonal path. He's charging headlong into battle with old worthless protoplasm here. Let's see how it works.
Tries to call for help, does not do so successfully, thankfully. And we are gonna eat the egg.
Egg.
Egg. You gotta hit again right away. Alright, goes down. First proto is just super dangerous in general. Jocelyn does get that safety dog we were talking about.
Yeah, it looks like Jocelyn might have taken top route there in Winters instead of going through the middle.
Yeah, I've noticed that some runners take a less efficient path. I think it's because they found one way through and then assumed that there wasn't a faster way. I don't know. Dog is on the weird side of that cliff there. I don't think I've ever seen the dog spawn above the cliff.
Yeah, it looked like it was stuck in the border there. I've had them spawn in between there and then phase through it and grab me, which is always fun.
You know, Oxus got into the duck fight, did not skip it. Took a little bit of damage. Probably be grabbing the croissant here behind it. We'll see if he can skip the second proto. Which will be less dangerous now we have some levels, but it's a waste of time all the same to fight it, so... Ooh. Monkey takes a little too long to catch up to us.
Yep, it's a pretty consistent setup, but it's still going to be all down to what Monkey wants to do.
Yeah, the setup isn't hard, it's just that Monkey's gonna do what Monkey's gonna do. Sometimes he waits a while, and sometimes he'll just stop immediately even though he just stopped. Like there.
Yeah, once you start moving towards that present, you're pretty much committed at that point. There's no going back.
Yeah. And it's just impossible to guarantee that Monkey will not mess it up. Alright, we're in the pond cave now.
Stutter.
Yeah, in pond cave now, getting good stutter past that first mouse, and first room is pretty clean otherwise. Does have to stutter a little at the end, but this is not a difficult one. You know, I got our second testy happening on jawsomesauce's side of the screen. So let's see those testies again. Ooh, bit of a tricky stutter here. Mouse is kind of right in the middle there. And we're getting some lag, and it's going to be a fight. 37 HP.
Didn't want to move.
37 HP, not too dangerous here. Could lose a lot of health here, depending on if we get these smashes. But I don't think he'll be death. Yeah, the mouse goes down. So Ox will have to heal before he gets to the 10th fight to be sure to get that BBR off safely. But I don't think he shouldn't have to take another fight here in the pond cave. This third room is all just despawns. You know, jawsomesauce now in the first proto fight.
What a dodge.
We're losing some time here. Okay.
Fails the
Proto
call
goes
for help
down.
and able to get out of that one. Very nice.
Drops a cookie. That duck's in a really gross spot to try to get a skip with.
Yeah, that's a dicey mushroom up there for Oxwis. I don't trust it.
Yeah, despawns it. Oxus is through the cave. Going into the tenant with a pretty comfortable lead still. Might see some safety strats come out. Now that we are in the bracket and out of Swiss rounds, there's no benefit to keeping a high average time. It's just are you faster than your opponent or not. So if you got a comfortable lead, you may as well spend it on some safety. Alright, Jawsome fights and gets past the duck.
Yeah,
now let's see if we can get
goes. And Monkey's just gonna be Monkey.
This monkey will not see heaven. That is a good point, P-Train. If your time is bad, you will know. You'll have to live with having had a bad time.
You can't have a bad time if you forget to start the timer. So Ox was getting a nice input break here. While we travel back to Threed, we'll see how Pond Cave treats Jawsome.
Yeah, this Skyrunner cutscene is a little bit unnecessarily long, honestly. I mean, it's nice seeing all the places we're gonna get to eventually, getting a little sneak peek, but then we also just like circle around Threed for like a solid minute. And it's like, why? If it weren't for this, we'd have had a sub-hour Boogey run record already.
Yeah, they were very inconsiderate with that. Jawsome getting pincered here, having to take a mouse fight there. Only had to deal with one. Didn't have the joiner from the slug on the other side of the wall there, fortunately. It's
Yep.
usually these narrow pathways, they'll get stuck in that. I think it's still possible for them to sneak through, sort of like they can climb up the ropes if they're in the right spot, but I think it's pretty unlikely.
I've seen the slug do it. I haven't seen the mouse do it. Speaking of another mouse, we get another mouse slug fight. Jocelyn just committing to it. Was kind of in a pincer, especially with this shroom on the side. There's just no way to stutter past it and get through the shroom. So I think he's counting on using the iframes to get past it after the fight. Yeah, that's exactly what he's
So
doing.
many spawns.
Ooh,
We need Monkey to cooperate here.
Oh, what? Oh, was there a slug there? It's kind of hard to see.
Yeah. Yeah, those iframes did not last as long as I was expecting them to.
I think intentionally running into the slugs, knowing that it wasn't going to be enough to get him past the shroom. But now it should be enough. There's more slugs on this side of that little choke point as well. Those choke points are also just kind of nasty. I mentioned it in the beginning of this game's subpixely. You can just get stuck in those, which is really annoying when you're trying to stutter through them. All right, Oxus is now in 3'd. Doesn't get the tech skip for the locked door, but it doesn't matter.
Saves maybe a second, but it does hurt your pride a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Is going to take the safety bear. We'll see what other safety strats he employs. You know, jawsomesauce is in the 3rd room trying to despawn all this garbage. We're gonna use a skip sandwich. Looks like we're just gonna run right into the tent fight.
Defend, BBR. Jeff, do your job.
Bear did its job, taking a hit. 457, so about 120 HP away.
Oh, Jeff
with a
saved.
gut save. That'll do it. GG Oxwas. See if I can find who his 2nd round opponent will be. And since pretty much everyone else has finished their 1st round race, it should be up.
Looks like Oxus is going to be facing off against Lantro in the next round.
Ooh. That'll be a good matchup.
Yeah, all of the races so far for round 2 are looking like they're going to be excellent.
Yeah,
like get better from there.
Yeah, these are all going to be very strong races as we get into the latter stage of this tournament. And Ox has a 107.30 in race time. So GG Oxwas. Jawsomesauce now getting the Skyrunner. Ox was saying it's his first deathless race run this year.
Good
Yeah,
a time as any.
I was thinking when I was looking up your stats earlier that your time seemed a little unexpectedly slower than I expect from you. I guess if you've taken a death every time, that would do it. Yeah, this is Oxwas's fastest race of this tournament so far. By like a whole minute.
You're gonna show up big. You might as well do it at the winner go home time.
This is gonna be
nice to have the game cooperate when you need.
This is kind of looking like it's gonna be a tournament PB for Jawsome as well. I don't know if it's an actual PB, but a tournament PB.
Taking a look, it looks like a 109.46 is the most recent posted on speedrun.com for Jawsome.
Okay. So yeah, not an
So-
actual PB, but the fastest of this tournament.
Not too far behind it. If you're within your like a minute of your PB, you're doing pretty good for a race scenario. It's been fun to see all of the racers and they're posting their new PBs as they get through the qualifiers and their practice. All of the consistent playing definitely gives you the reps you need to get a good run going.
Ooh, yeah, that's always a shame to lose a good pace to bad RNG. Oxless.
Yeah, especially the cop death. It's just so costly having to go through the gauntlet all over again, potentially having to shop again. It's arguably the worst place to die.
Jawsomesauce has landed. Oxless is gonna go on to get the zombie paper. I'm not sure if he's gonna try to run through 3 tunnel or if he just wants to summon the zombies to do a tent glitch, just so they can be there to watch the tent glitch happen. All right, Jawsome using that bad key machine.
Yeah,
Jawsome is gonna-
107.29 is a great race time.
Jawsome is gonna grab the safety bear. May as well at this point.
Yep, just gotta try to finish it out strong. Skip sandwich helping get through laggy 3'd.
Use the second skip to avoid any spawns here, like that dog there. Oof. Dodges the dog. We're in the fight now. Defend BBR. Ooh, 400. Needs a little bit of work there. Rockin' Freeze and Rocket might do it. Jeff goes down, does not get that Rockin' off.
Love to see Rockin' do a little bit more work here. Please be nice.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
We might end up being a little short on damage. Might have to do prey strats. This Rockin' could
one
still
more
do
good
it
one.
here. Oh my god, we're on prey strats. Oh,
Awful.
gross. Okay, got the dazzle. Oh, that's the wrong dazzling light. Yeah.
Teddy bear goes down. Oh no!
Ness murders Paula.
Oh no!
Wow. I'm so
Oh,
sorry,
no.
Jawsome.
And Johnson doesn't have a weapon anymore. That's awful. Oh, that's brutal.
Good video game.
One job. One job. How do you get 2 rockin' misses on Boogey 10? That's wrong. PSI wrong.
Are we gonna take a second shot at it, or are we just gonna call it? Yeah, no, that's fair.
That's entirely fair.
Yeah.
The
Thank
only
you.
option here is to sell that defense spray, revive the kids, and hope you can make it through it a second time. But without the BBR, you're really strapped.
It's recoverable, but it's kind of miserable. So, thank you for participating. It was lovely having you in the tournament, and we hope to see you again next year, or perhaps in a randomizer tournament.
Yeah, many more opportunities to Boogey.
All right, let's see if we have a raid target, because this is the final race of the evening.
Looks like Lantro and Uko are both running.
Yeah. Dealer's choice, whoever's got a sword. Looks like we're gonna raid Uko. Yeah, GG Temple, thank you for restreaming 3 races tonight. Really pulling through for the team.
Yep, holding it down. Have a great night, everybody. We'll catch you all next time. Same channel.
Yep.
Enjoy your evening.
Next race, final race of round 1 is tomorrow at 3 Eastern in the afternoon. If it all lines up correctly, and then we got more later in the week. So see you next time.
Oh, yeah. 69.